and that is the flower of life. Now, before I explain what the flower of life is all about, I remember the first time I saw the flower of life, I was so attracted to this shape without understanding why. I just kept researching it, I kept looking at it, and it was very hypnotizing. I didn't know why I was attracted to it. The flower of life is probably the most popular sacred geometry shape out there, and I'm sure most of you who are watching this video know or have heard of it at least. It is almost like the logo that represents sacred geometry. It is such a meditative shape that when you keep looking at it, it has the potential to unlock your consciousness. As a matter of fact, I was so fascinated by this shape that the next thing you know, I had it tattooed on my shoulder. And I never regretted it once. I couldn't resist. I also want to talk about this book that helped me throughout my research, which is one of my favorite books that talks about sacred geometry and the flower of life. And this book is The Ancient Secret of the Flower of Life by Drunvalo Melchizedek. There's volume 1 and volume 2. I read both of them, I have both of them, and they're one of my favorite books. Now I want to give a big shout out and thank you to Drunvalo Melchizedek for making sacred geometry, and especially this shape, the flower of life, mainstream back in the 90s. His book about this sacred shape helped me a lot throughout my research, and I am very grateful for that. My dream is to meet him one day and learn more from him and learn from his knowledge about sacred geometry and the flower of life. But at this point, I will keep sharing with you guys what I have learned. Now, after giving you a little introduction about the flower of life, let me explain to you how this form came to be. So we're going to carry on where we left off in our previous episodes about the seed of life. You have the seed of life, which represents the 7 circles of creation. Source decides to duplicate itself again 6 times. It moves on again to the boundary of itself, to the intersection of the 2 circles, and creates 6 circles. Source does that once, so 7 plus 6, but it does that again, plus another 6 circles. So you have 7 circles, plus 6 circles, plus another 6 circles, all created with the same method of how the seed of life was created. So you have 7 plus 12 circles in total, which gives you a total of 19 circles. And that gives you the flower of life. The flower of life is made up of 19 circles. If you see a similar shape that have more or less circles, that's not the flower of life. So just make sure it has 19 circles. But we're not done here yet. That's not the flower of life yet. Everywhere you see this shape around the world, which I'm gonna get to later in this episode. Everywhere you see this shape, it is always surrounded by 2 circles. They represent a sort of barrier or a limit that you can't go over. It's kind of odd. And you might wonder why those 2 circles on the outer perimeter. According to Drunvalo Melchizedek, the ancients decided to put these 2 circles because they didn't want people to know what's beyond these 2 circles. The knowledge was too sacred and too important for people to handle. Therefore, they put those 2 circles to protect the knowledge. But now we are ready to understand this knowledge, and in the next episode I'm gonna share with you what lies beyond those 2 circles. But for now, let's keep focusing on the flower of life. So as you can see, this beautiful shape have 19 circles. In numerology, which I like to reference to, 19 basically is 9 plus 1. 9 plus 1 is 10, which is 1. And 1 in numerology is the representation of new beginnings. It's the representation of creation, of connection and oneness. After all, we're all one, and we're one with the universe. And the fact that this shape is represented by number 1 means a lot. I want you also to see this with me. Look what happened when I superimposed the 7 chakras on the flower of life. It aligns and matches perfectly with the intersected points in the middle, and I find that quite fascinating. And I want you to look at this. These drawings were made by Leonardo da Vinci, which, by the way, I'm a big fan of. And this is proof that he studied the flower of life, that he studied the seed of life, as you can see. I remember when I bought this Leonardo da Vinci book a few years ago, and I saw the drawing of the flower of life there, and I couldn't believe it. I was surprised, actually, because this proves that he knew about sacred geometry, and he knew about the flower of life, about the seed of life. If amazing artists and inventors like Leonardo da Vinci himself were studying this shape, that means that they know the value and the importance of it. When I see that, it encourages me to do more research and to study sacred geometry more and more, because I believe that with sacred geometry and the flower of life, the more you study it, the more you look at it, the more you draw it, the more you find out something new that can be useful for your life. And here I'm going to share with you some images of the flower of life that's been found all around the world. And this is quite fascinating because this proves that this was a common language that was utilized by all cultures. As you can see here, this is in China, in the Forbidden City, in various temples. This is Israel. You have another one here in India, and much more.